My guest coming right up here on the phone with me right now is host and creator of the Palin Update on SarahNetRadio.net, SarahNetRadio.net. And he's also a contributor at Breitbart.com. Kevin Scholla, right? Did I do that right?
You got it, Eddie.
All right, man, I nailed it.
Right.
I nailed it. Because earlier I was saying Scholla. It's spelled S-C-H and Scholla. There you go. Cool.
See that in the Burke, I never mess up, even with that little E at the end.
Yeah, that's, I always wondered why. You'd think more people would pronounce my last name Burke, and it happens sometimes. But most people say Burke. I find it kind of interesting. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. Thanks so much for having me, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too. The last time we talked, I was on your show on the SarahNetRadio.net, right? And so we were on there talking about my son. We were talking about Sarah Palin and all. Hey, Palin has come out in a strong way, her usual self, on this Duck Dynasty issue. And what's the latest from Sarah Net Radio on Duck Dynasty, folks? I've been listening to her on Fox News, and she seems to be pretty consistent, I think, with most of us, that this is kind of ridiculous that A&E has treated this family this way. What say you?
It is amazing, the treatment they've received, isn't it? I mean, this is a show unlike any other. I mean, the most popular unscripted reality program out there. People love this program. But again, Eddie, you know what it comes down to, whether you like it or not, whether you like what Phil said or not, referencing the Bible is all he did in a magazine interview, not even part of A&E. But whether you like it or not, you have the power to turn on that television program or not.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. Just like you could go to a restaurant if you want to, if they, have a certain policy that you agree or disagree with. But right away, the left, what do they call for? They want your job. They want your head. It's unbelievable. So Sarah Palin has been one of the leaders, again, talking common sense, talking about our rights, not only of free speech, but of our right to choose what we do here in this exceptional country. And to see Phil Robertson treated like this, when in the meantime, Miley Cyrus, everyone laughs at that. Martin Bashir can say the awful things he said. He didn't lose his job. He had to quit under the pressure. You look at, and then you want to talk about the topic that Phil was attacked for here, his stance on gay marriage. So liberals want him to lose his job, but then they support some of these leaders in countries who stone and kill gays for just being gay. So it's so hypocritical and so scary, and it's nice to have someone like Palin out there talking common sense.
Yeah, it is. And I personally think, and I'm looking for your opinion on this, but some people say this is a freedom of speech issue. And yes, it is. Don't get me wrong. It is. But I think the left is really going after religion here. And because a lot of this show is, and I apologize, folks, for the connection here. We got a little bit of static with the connection and all. But anyways, we're working on that. It is more like I think they're attacking religion. I think that's what it's really about. Is they don't agree with this guy's religion. Hollywood doesn't really like the show, but they can't do anything about it because it's so hugely popular, as you've articulated. And so this is a great opportunity for them to act like they're going against what he said, but in reality, it's all about one's belief in God and what the Bible actually says.
Sure, there are definitely layers to this, and it's not the first time that Duck Dynasty has run into a battle against Christianity and conservative Christians. They pray at the end of the show as a family.
Yes.
And that, turned A&E, gave them a bad taste the first time around, and their compromise was trying to edit out the part where they say, "In Jesus' name we pray." And the Robertsons stood up to that, too, and said, "No way, if you're not going to keep that in, we're not going to do this. This is who we're praying to. This is why we're praying." And, so they stood up there, and it was great to see Phil standing up again. And as you know, Sarah Palin's been standing up for Christmas these last few months. So, it all kind of comes together. But you're absolutely right. It's free speech is part of it, but certainly not the only part.
Yeah, and I noticed Sarah Palin's got a new book out, Good Tidings. Is that I believe is the name. I haven't read the book yet, but
yeah, Good Tidings and Great Joy, and it's been really, really successful. I was able to attend a couple of her stops on the tour, and also cover a lot of the stops, and it's been amazing. I mean, the people have come out in so huge numbers in less than favorable weather conditions in a lot of the places too. Just to see her for a couple seconds and say hello and really thank her has been the big message that I've seen out there. In Wisconsin, at one of her stops, they ran out of books. It was so popular, and not only at the place she was signing, Eddie, but in the whole town. People tried to go to other stores and grab a book and bring it over, and they ran out. And, just the parking lots have been filled, and no problems. Everybody with a smile on their face, even in the long lines. And, again, many of them just meeting her for the first time and just happy to see her and say thank you.
All right, tell you what, Kevin, we're speaking with Kevin Scholla, and he's a contributor at Breitbart.com. He's also the host and creator of the Palin Update on SarahNetRadio.net. Let's take a break here. We're going to call you back, and let's see if we can get a better connection this time. We'll check it out on our end, and then we'll enjoy having you back for the next segment. Is that cool with you?
All right, Eddie, sounds good.
All right, brother. We'll ask you about the whole Duck Dynasty deal and then what you do over at Breitbart.com, and if you have any interesting editorials coming out here soon. So we'll be right back here with Kevin Scholla on the Eddie Burke Show. My guest on the phone right now, see if we got a little better connection, is Kevin Scholla. He's the host and creator of Palin Update on the SarahNetRadio.net and also a contributor at Breitbart.com. Hey, what anything you've been writing lately for Breitbart that we should know about there, Kevin? Welcome back.
Okay, Eddie, I hope you can hear me a little better. I don't know if you're...
Yeah, it is better.
Guys.
It's a little better. It's not perfect, but it's better.
Okay, I was worried some of your friends at the NSA were pulling some wires here.
Isn't that amazing?
To answer your question, Breitbart's a lot of fun. I've had the opportunity to be writing for them since the sports section took off about a year ago. So I've been writing a lot of sports columns and also a lot of Palin columns, and a lot that are a little bit about both. So when Sarah Palin delves into the world of sports, which she does so often, she's quite the sports woman, we cover that as well. So we had her appearance at the Indy 500 covered. Just recently she supported a group that Charlie Daniels is also behind that helps rodeo professionals who are injured in the sport, helps them with their bills and things of that nature. So sometimes the two worlds of sports and Palin come together. We interviewed her dad a while back, did an exclusive with him just about the impact of sports on the Palin family, the Heath family, and so that was great. So you can check me out. Just go to Breitbart.com, search Kevin Scholla, and all my stuff comes up, and including Palin and lots of stuff about sports.
So what's up for the Scholla family here tomorrow? What happens? A typical Christmas day at the Scholla family.
Well, hopefully the big guy shows up tonight, and hopefully the two little people are sleeping when he does show up.
Dude, if the big guy doesn't show up, you're in a world of trouble, partner. I can tell you, as a father of 4 children and the grandfather of 5, man, dude, you got a lot riding. I was double checking last night. I was saying, hey, listen, now we got everything for the grandkids. I don't want to get up here, and have. And they're not happy, or we did one more for the other than we did. You got to have that balancing act, too.
Hey, listen, I assume he's coming, but if reindeer food costs or anything like gas prices, I don't know now. You will have to see. But well, I'm sure he's here. We've been gearing up, Eddie, since before Thanksgiving. The Christmas music in the car all the time. The 3-year-old and 5-year-old know about every lyric to every song. And crisis averted on a little bit of adversity getting an easy bake oven the other night. Let's just say that as a tease.
Well, Dad needs cookies, Oh,
I'm definitely the guinea pig on that. And they are high-tech now. You can make pretzels and little pizzas apparently on there, so it's going to be interesting.
Hey, the last time we talked, I spoke about this a little bit earlier, but my grandson, I wanted to thank you publicly for having me on and allowing me to talk not only about the Palin and some of the history with her that we've experienced up here, but and my reflections upon that, but also my grandson, and, he's doing pretty good. I mean, he's still a sick baby, but, considering everything, he's doing really well, and his chemo treatments have ended from every week to now once a month. And for the backstory here a little bit, so folks know that my grandson has a disease called LCH. It's basically where the cells, it's very, very similar to cancer. It's treated just like cancer, but it's more of a disease than it is cancer. And not to go into it too much, Kevin, but I just wanted to thank you. And, of course, he's been in and out of the hospital, and it's amazing that you took the time and interest to want to talk about him. And so I appreciate the time we spent together on the radio, on your SarahNetRadio.net, SarahRadio.net, and spent time with me. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, Eddie, it is absolutely my pleasure, and little Noah is just a sweet little guy, and we pray for him all the time and think of him all the time, and a lot of people can learn from him. I mean, you talked so much about just how a lot of the pain he's been through, but doesn't really know what's going on because of how young he is, and shows such strength and such heart at such a little age. I mean, what an inspiration, when a lot of us complain about such little things sometime during the day. I mean, It's only natural. We all do it. But here you got a fighter there, right there in your family, and he's the youngest one around. So, anything we could do, obviously, we keep spreading the word on Noah and the cause, and just how your daughter has sacrificed and others to help what's going on here. We really appreciate that story and obviously wish him the best.
What do you think about in this Christmas season, Kevin, about, some people say there's no war on Christmas, there's no war on Christianity. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, anybody who wants to say there's no war on Christmas needs to go no further than just to talk to any of your neighbors. Sign on to Facebook and look at your friends' statuses a couple of times. I've noticed at least a few times from different people in different states. I mean, just think about this for a second. Posting that they have been given looks or even told that it is inappropriate while saying Merry Christmas in line at a store this season. This is what's going on right now. People have been so brainwashed, so just have fallen for this liberal whitewash of Christianity to this happy holidays nonsense and everything else. And people who even celebrate Christmas are walking in line and in step with this and not wanting to offend, even though we are the largest Christian nation in the world by far. It's really unbelievable. So those of us who are out there saying Merry Christmas, those retailers like a Walmart and those who do not shy away, should be supported because there is a war and it's going to be won by one side or the other.
Why is it that it's, I know I'm just talking to you, but I guess I'm kind of trying to dig for your thoughts on this. Why is that we as Christians, we as people who believe that there's something more greater than ourselves, there's a higher power, as we say in AA, as a 17-year recovering alcoholic, you have to believe in something. Why is it that we should be offended, or we feel like why is it that if we say something like that we're maybe offending others? Isn't it just a reverse? It's like, I feel offended that I can't say anything such as I believe in God, or there's a higher power. It seems like, how have they done that to us, that they've been able to reverse that? If I say something that's offending them, but just the thought that I might be offending somebody is offensive to me.
Right. And you said that well, and I think Governor Palin tackles that in the book, too. That is exactly what has happened. I think they've gone after the younger crowd, too. So a lot of kids and young adults have been pressured into this, into almost the assimilation, into not saying Christmas instead of instead of fighting back like a lot of us have. I mean, that's not the case all around, but I mean, I would say in large numbers, so that has changed it. And yeah, I mean, it starts with little things and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And, a lot of people who are Christian, they're kind of quiet. They kind of keep to themselves. They're doing their own thing. They're worrying about their jobs and their families, and they're celebrating the way they do. But you have these mouthpieces who have high-profile positions in the media or on TV who just bang the drum on this, and then you see people see it and they think that that's the way it is. But, as you know, Christmas is alive and very, very well.
Yes.
And good thing we have folks like yourself and like Governor Palin who are talking about it.
And you.
Thank you.
We're speaking to Kevin Scholla here. He's the host and creator of the Palin Update on SarahNetRadio.net, also a contributor at Breitbart.com. Hey, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I was going to ask you if you thought, aren't you, to me, I'm kind of giddy. I don't know if that's the way I want to describe myself or not, I don't know. But I'm so happy this outpouring of support for Duck Dynasty. I didn't regularly watch the show. I am now. I went and bought $100 worth of crap off their website just to show that, hey, I'm there with you, brothers. And but isn't this just so rewarding? I feel so humbled about the outpouring of support because of what they stand for, their right to say it, their freedom of religion, and it just makes me think that there's hope left and that these people are more powerful than A&E. I mean, I think they control the cards here. And what do you think? I mean, I know we have touched on it, but isn't this so great that we have this outpouring of people?
Well, we have the outpouring, and we have the right to do it, and I like the approach you took, buying some of their stuff. I did the same thing. My daughter had a kindergarten the other day, had pancake and pajama day, and she wore pink Duck Dynasty pajamas.
All right. Good for you, Kevin.
In a public school, and she was taken to the side by the teacher's assistant, and she told her in private, I have a lot of Duck Dynasty shirts at home myself. So you gotta love that. I also purchased one of the caps, the one that Darius Rucker wore at one of the Country Music Awards recently. But yeah, it sure is. And if you saw some of the sponsors of the show,
yes,
Under Armour didn't waver. They stayed with them all the way.
Neither did that four-wheel drive outfit either. That CEO came on Cavuto and said, "Hey, we're with him. Man, if he leaves, we're leaving with him too."
But what's even probably more interesting is that the Cracker Barrel situation. The Cracker Barrel was shying away, and then guess what? They got an unbelievable response from mail and email and letters and posts regarding this, and they went and said, "Hey, I heard you. We're putting the stuff back up." So, just like Merry Christmas, it works. You saw the Gap and Old Navy. They were kind of shying away from Christmas last year. Well, you know what? It hurt their bottom line. People told them we're not shopping there. Well, the Gap and Navy, they're back to Merry Christmas. So, it's very similar to the Chick-fil-A deal.
Yes.
You go out there, you got to speak up sometimes.
Yes.
Otherwise, the oil's going to the squeaky wheels. And do you want it to be over to these people, to these angry activists, atheist lawyers, or do you want it to be in the hands of us, the Americans, those who do celebrate Christmas, those who follow the Constitution, and those who believe in freedom and liberty? It's our choice.
You said it perfect. There's nothing more to say. Gee whiz, that's a great way to end it, man. That was just absolutely awesome. Kevin Scholla, man, the host and creator of Palin Update on SarahNet Radio and also a Breitbart contributor. And Merry Christmas, brother, and thank you so much for all that you do. We'll talk to you next year.
Eddie, thanks for the time. God bless you and your family and little Noah, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, brother.